Welcome back. Let's read a bit more. Try to make some Danish video about automotive industry. I did not make 5 videos in my language Danish, so now I like to read about the automotive industry by country. So that's really a big subject. Because there's many car factories. That's many car factories all around the world. All kind of countries all over the world. Well, I think it's kind of interesting. I like it. I like car factories. I will watch later on YouTube. That's a Honda car factory in India. That's a Toyota car factory in Texas. Texas in United States. You can find it on YouTube.
Automotive industry by country. This article needs additional citations for verification. Please help improve this article by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. Find sources: Automotive industry by country, News Times, Newspapers Times, Books Times, Scholar Times, Chester, July 2010. Learn how and when to remove this message. This article provides an overview of the automotive industry in countries around the world. The United States was the world's largest automobile producer by volume from the early years of the 20th century until the 1980s, when it was overtaken by Japan. In 2009, China became the world's largest vehicle producer. Africa, edit. Algeria, edit. In 2014, a partnership between Daimler and the Ministry of Defense for the manufacture of trucks and armored cars will produce 18,000 Mercedes-Benz units annually in accordance with international quality standards applied by Mercedes-Benz at its plants around the world, while the rest of the quota will be owned by the German companies specialized in mechanical industries, MAN and Ferrostar. The same standards will be applied in both DRE, which will produce 10.000 G-class SUVs and utility wagons of average size annually, while the production site of engines in Constantine will produce 26,000 water-cooled engines by licenses production for the marques Moto Deutz Daimler respectively, to prepare the cars and industrial machinery, agricultural machines, and machines of public works, as the production will be launched in 2014. The National Company of Industrial Vehicles, SNVI, in Ruiba, as part of an Algerian-German Emirati investment project, 5 truck models to be assembled on the same industrial site, namely Actros, Etigo, AXA and Unimog. In addition to other bus models, will reach some 15,000 trucks and 1,500 buses in 2018 and 2019. In October 2015, Iran Khodro Group intends to establish a car assembly plant in Algeria located 300 kilometers from Algiers, will produce 30,000 cars forward/year. 3 options open to the group for that, and they will have to choose between relocation of Senegalese assembly line, which is the first option, that of Bardo, pickup, and that of the establishment of a new chain. In December 2015, an agreement signed with an Algerian company and the Iranian auto-making group Saipa will produce X100, Tiber I and II, Sinner and Pride in the country as of mid-2016. Imin Auto, an Algerian-Turkish society, including representatives of several Chinese vehicle brands, should sign the project to build an assembly line of commercial vehicles in Automotive Thursday, the 7th of January 2016. The project is in partnership with the Chinese Jianghua Automobile Corporation, Jack Motors and Dimin Auto. This project will be located in the new industrial zone Tamazara, 54 kilometers, 34 mi, Automotive, over an area of 34 hectares, 84 acres. This assembly unit will generate 270 job positions at first to move to 450 jobs during its 5th year of production. The plant is expected to produce 10,000 trucks a year, a volume that will be raised, in the 10th year, some 100,000 vehicles/year. Truck industry also has a ration in the market. Renault Trucks, a subsidiary of Volvo, and the Algerian group BSF Swakri signed a memorandum of understanding for the creation of a vehicle assembly plant in Algeria, which will be based in Mefta, Blida. The vehicle's brand's Volvo Group will be assembled in this unit. This plant has the potential to become an important element in the global network of Iveco. The group's president, Pierre Lahat, said that the company has an international development model based on partnership, like with Ivel in Algeria. Moreover, the country represents 13% of group sales in Africa. Toyota Algeria announced 3 projects in the assembly and manufacture of spare parts. The first project relates to the study launch an assembly line of heavyweights Hino brand, with a capacity of 2,000 trucks per year. The plant will produce light truck tonnage, the Hino 300 series. For the second project, it is a Toyota vehicle assembly possibility in Algeria. The Algerian representative of the Japanese giant, in collaboration with Toyota, account and conduct a study on the Algerian automobile market to identify patterns that could be assembled locally. Toyota Algeria also announced the launch of a production unit of brake pads and brake shoes, with a medium-term capacity of 200,000 units to 300,000 units respectively. Egypt, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Egypt. The beginnings of the Egyptian automotive industry date back to 1960. During the socialist era, the government pledged to transform the country from an agricultural economy to an industrial one, and the first completely Egyptian car was produced. The car soon went out of production, as it could not compete with foreign brands, especially following the end of socialism and the move toward a more liberal market. It was not until 1985 that automotive giant, General Motors, GM, set up its first assembly plant in Egypt, revolutionizing the industry. In the almost 40 years since, the Egyptian automotive assembly business has grown from just 3 plants relying on mostly imported components to 16 businesses with 26 assembly lines, manufacturing now nearly 100,000 units annually of passenger cars, light commercial vehicles, trucks, and buses, as well as 300 factories that produce most automotive components. IDA's vision for the automotive industry report. Besides GM, giants such as BYD, BMW, Nissan, Hyundai, and Daewoo produce a majority of the models in their product lines in their factories in Egypt. In fact, the BMW assembly line in Egypt is the only factory outside Germany where the BMW 7 Series is produced. However, it was not until 2004 that the Egyptian automotive market began to expand exponentially, along with the local production of both assembled cars and components. The total production market in Egypt consisted of only 49,335 vehicles in 2004. This figure rose to 116,683 vehicles in 2010, a 136% increase. However, due to the political changes starting in 2011, production was down over 31% in 2012. In 2013, Egypt was the third largest car-producing market in Africa, after South Africa and Morocco. Ghana, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Ghana. The current government's policies on automobiles is very attractive, inviting companies such as Toyota, VW, Nissan just to mention few. It is anticipated that Ghana will be one of the fastest growing automobile industries in Africa in the next 5 years. Kenya, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Kenya. The automotive industry in Kenya is primarily involved in the assembly, retail and distribution of motor vehicles. There are a number of motor vehicle dealers operating in the country, with the most established being major retailers, Toyota East Africa /Toyota Kenya Limited, Cooper Motor Corporation, General Motors East Africa, GMEA, Simba Colt and DT Dodge. Major assemblers, Associated Vehicle Assemblers Limited, AVA, Kenya Vehicle Manufacturers, KVM, General Motors East Africa, GMEA, and Honda Motorcycle Kenya Limited. Kenya is currently attempting to completely build its own cars. After building its first car in the late 80s, the Nyayo car, Kenya has a shot at the industry with Mobius Motors, which was founded in 2009. Morocco, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Morocco. Morocco has already overtaken South Africa as the continent's automotive hub and is soon expected to produce more cars a year than Italy. The kingdom is also becoming a major supplier for European auto factories, including Ford Motor Company's high-tech plant in Valencia, Spain, which imports car seats, interiors, wiring and other components from Morocco. A new factory having an auto assembly capability of nearly 400,000 vehicles annually was opened by Renault in February 2012 in Tangier. It will mainly produce cars for the European market. Before 2012, the only other assembly plant in Morocco was the Renault factory in Casablanca. BYD signed an agreement on the 9th of December 2017 to open a factory near the Moroccan city of Tangiers to build battery-powered vehicles. BYD will become the third car manufacturer to build cars in the North African state. Another factory by PSA Peugeot Citroën is expected to start production by 2019. With a starting capacity of 90,000 cars /year and a 200,000 cars /year in the future. The main specificity of this factory is the introduction of car engines production for the first time to the country. Nigeria, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Nigeria. Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company Limited, shortened as IVM, is a Nigerian automobile and bus manufacturing company. It was founded by Chief Innocent Chukwumanwola, and runs a plant in Nui in the state of Anambra. Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing is nicknamed Pride of African Road. 70% of the car parts are produced locally, while the rest is sourced from Japan, China, and Germany. Innocent Vehicles is the first made in Nigeria vehicle. Nui, the city where the company is located, is nicknamed the Japan of Africa, and it's also known as the automobile hub of Africa due to the great feat the city has achieved in the automotive industry since 1970s. South Africa, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in South Africa. South Africa is traditionally the leader in Africa of the automotive industry and now produces more than 500,000 annually of all types of automobiles. While domestic development of trucks and military vehicles exists, cars built under license of foreign brands are the mainstay. Tunisia, edit. Industries Mécaniques Maritimes is a Tunisian car manufacturer headquartered in the city of Cairo. The company was founded in 1982 and closed for the first time in 1988. The plant was reopened in 1991. Since then, the manufacturer has formed subsidiaries to distribute its vehicles in Carthage, Tunis and Ousmah, Algeria. The company is a joint venture between the General Motors Company, 20%, Isuzu Motors Limited, 10%, and the locomotive builder General Motors du Tunisie SA, 70%. The latter provides the staff for the company. Warliska is a Tunisian car manufacturer, founded in 2006 and based in Benares. Production is 600 units per year. Asia, edit. Azerbaijan, edit. 1 Ganja Auto Plant, 1986 present. 2 Azermond, 2005 present. 3 Nakhchivan Automobile Plant, 2010 present. Ganja Auto Plant is an auto assembly plant situated in the Ganja city in Azerbaijan. The factory was founded in 1986 for a production run of 30,000 GAZL vans according to the project brief. AZ Samand opened in October 2005 with the support of the government of Azerbaijan. AZ Samand works with Iran Khodro. Nakhchivan Automobile Plant, automobile manufacturer in the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic of Azerbaijan. Nakhchivan Automobile Factory was founded in 2006. It was put into operation in 2010. Bangladesh, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Bangladesh. Auto rickshaws have been producing in Bangladesh since the 1980s and local production of motorcycles began in early 2000. Foreign vehicles manufacturers have been assembling vehicles here for the past 30 years as well, and now several automobile companies are in discussion to build automobile factories in the country. Pragati is the state-run automotive industry, which assembles Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, Tata trucks, and Ashok Leyland minibus. Some privately owned automotive industries are Aftab Automobiles, Runner Automobiles and Walton. China, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in China. The Chinese automotive industry has seen significant developments and transformations over the years during the early 20th century. However, the Second Sino-Japanese War hampered the progress of the Chinese auto industry, as seen by the relocation of the Shangan automobile factory from Shanghai to Chongqing in the wake of the city's bombing and attack. After the foundation of the People's Republic of China, PRC, in 1949, plants and licensed auto design were established in China with assistance from the Soviet Union in the 1950s. Marking the beginning of the country's automobile sector. However, the Chinese automotive industry did not exceed 100-200,000 automobiles produced per year during the first 30 years of the PRC. It has been developing rapidly since the year 2000. In 2009, 13.83 million motor vehicles were manufactured in China, surpassing Japan as the world's largest automobile producer. Now, annual production of more than 18 million automobiles exceeds that of the United States and Japan combined, or that of the EU. Moreover, with total sales of 13.64 million, China became the largest automobile market in the world for the full year 2009, overtaking the United States. India, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in India. An embryonic automotive industry started in India in the 1940s. However, for the next 50 years, the growth of the industry was hobbled by the socialist policies and the bureaucratic hurdles of the license Raj, with total restrictions for import of vehicles. Following economic liberalization in India in 1991 and start of economic boom, and the gradual easing of restrictions on industry, India has seen a dynamic 17% annual growth in automobile production and 30% annual growth in exports of automotive components and automobiles. More than 4.78 million automotive vehicles were produced in India in 2017, an increase of almost thrice since 2005 and more than 13 times since 1990. India is now the fourth largest automobile producer as of 2018, beating old and new automakers such as Germany, South Korea, Belgium, United Kingdom, Italy, Canada, Mexico, Russia, Spain and France, and is the second fastest growing automobile market, after China, in the world. Total turnover of the Indian automobile industry grew 3.6 times from $34 billion in 2006 to $122 billion in 2016. The largest automotive companies in India are Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai Motor India, Mahindra and Tata Motors. In 2008, it launched Tata Nano, the cheapest car in the world at $1,500. Foreign auto companies with plants in India include Ford, Hyundai, Honda, Kia, Nissan, Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, BMW, Renault, Mitsubishi, Jaguar Land Rover, Fiat, Volvo, Lexus and Mercedes-Benz. Many other global automobile giants such as PSA Group are setting up their plants, and Infiniti are also in the process of setting up their manufacturing plants in this country. Indonesia, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Indonesia. Indonesia, with mainly assembly of world's Japanese and South Korean brand vehicles, is the first Southeast Asian auto producer in January-April 2015 with market share 36.54%, 363,945 units, while Thailand with 25.29%. Since 2012, Indonesian automotive product export in value is more than its import. Iran, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Iran. Iran developed a significant automotive industry with up to 200,000 annual production under the Shah's regime. There was a decline after the Islamic Revolution of 1979, but since the end of the 20th century growth returned, accelerating in recent years. There were 13 public and privately owned automakers within Iran, of which 2 Iran Khodro and Saipa accounted for 94% of the total domestic production. Iran Khodro, which produced the most prevalent car brand in the country, the Paykhan, which has been replaced in 2005 by the Samand, was still the largest with 61% of the market in 2001, while Saipa contributed 33% of Iran's total production in the same year. The other car manufacturers, such as the Bahman Group, Kerman Motors, Kish Khodro, Raniran, Traktor Sazi, Shahab Khodro, and others together produced only 6%. These automakers produce a wide range of automobiles including motorbikes, passenger cars such as Saipa's Tiber, vans, mini trucks, medium-sized trucks, heavy-duty trucks, minibuses, large-size buses and other heavy automobiles used in commercial and private activities in the country. Iran has a fleet of 7 million cars in 2008, which translates to almost 1 car per 10 persons in the country, including pickups and buses. Automobile production crossed the 1 million mark in 2005 and Iran car exports reached $1 billion by March 2009. Iran ranked the world's 13th biggest automaker in 2011 with annual production of more than 1.6 million, more than in such old and new auto industries as Belgium, the United Kingdom, Italy, the Czech Republic, and Turkey. Japan, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Japan. Japanese zaibatsu, business conglomerates, began building their first automobiles in the middle to late 1910s, while designing their own trucks and producing European cars in Japan under license. The breakout of World War II caused many Japanese manufacturers to halt the design and production of vehicles, but in the 1950s and 1960s restoration occurred. In the 1970s Japan was the world's pioneer robotics manufacturer of vehicles. The automotive industry in Japan grew rapidly between the 1970s and 1990s, when it was oriented both for domestic use and wide world export, and after being second largest producer in the world, behind the United States, it is now the third largest, after China and the US, with an annual production of 8-10 million vehicles. During the 1980s and 1990s, overtaking the US, Japan became the world's leading automobile manufacturer with up to 13 million vehicles produced per year. A significant part of that went to export, including to the United States. Japanese investments grew in auto industry in many, and not Asian only, countries. Jordan, edit. Land Rover, in a joint venture with the Shahin Group and Ole Jordan, assembles Defenders and Discoveries at the Land Rover Akaba assembly plant in Akaba. About 1,000 workers are employed there, assembling 5,000 units annually. Malaysia, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Malaysia. The automotive industry in Malaysia is perhaps one of the freshest and most steadily growing markets, catering for needs worldwide, except for America and continental Europe. Malaysia is the third largest Southeast Asian automaker, outputting more than 500,000 vehicles per year. Some of the Malaysian companies produce some models in collaboration with Japanese, Chinese, South Korean or European manufacturers, while also developing fully indigenous Malaysian-made cars. The list of car manufacturers is as follows. 1. Proton, Perusaha and Automobile Nasional Berhad, being the pioneer of Malaysian car manufacturer. 2. Projua, Perusaha and Automobile Kejur Berhad, of which engines are based on Daihatsu models. 3. Bafori and TD2000, antique cars manufacturers based in Malaysia, although originally from Australia. 4. Nazar Group of companies assembles Kia Motors and Peugeot vehicles. 5. Inocom, assembles Hyundai Motors and BMW vehicles. North Korea, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in North Korea. The North Korean motor vehicle production has military, industrial and construction goals mainly, and private car ownership by citizens is not allowed. All cars are serving government officials. It has Soviet origins, evident in the subsequent practice of cloning foreign specimens, though in one recent automobile joint venture, North Korea developed a wide-range automotive industry with production of all types of vehicles, an urban and off-road mini, luxury, SUV cars, a small, midi, heavy and super heavy cargo, haulage, construction and off-road trucks, a mini buses, a usual and articulated buses, trolleybuses and trams. Automotive production is less than 40,000 to 50,000. North Korea did not join the OICA, meaning that information about its motor vehicle industry is very limited and poor. Pakistan, edit. Main article, Automotive Industry in Pakistan. The automobile industry has been an active and growing field in Pakistan for a long time, however not as much established to figure in the prominent list of the top automotive industries, having a stable annual production of between 100,000 and 170,000 vehicles. Surprisingly, Despite its production volume, only a few car models are assembled in the country and customers have a very small variety of vehicles to choose from. The lack of competition in the auto industry due to the dominance of a few players, and restrictions on imports in the form of heavy duties have resulted in very high prices of cars in the country. Currently some of the major world automakers have